Alright everyone, it's Jira Bro back with another video. Today what we're gonna talk about is everything that you need to about the Jira Work Management project. Now, when it comes to the Jira Work Management, it's geared towards the business people, the folks that are not actually into the software development, like project managers, HR teams. It could be finance, it could be law, for example. So teams that are not really into, doing the stuff that is related to the software development. Now, that doesn't mean that actually doesn't actually involve the Kanban board. As you can see from here, you can actually see that this is pretty much indeed the Kanban board. And as you can see right from the start, this actually reminds on the team managed project, because it has similarities, because as you can see, it's simplified. It's much more simplified. um, it's almost like a team managed project. So when you create your work management project, it's gonna look like this. Now, what you can actually do, you can actually align these columns in here, so you can actually switch them. You can create your issues in here. You can also manage them. So when you go for the manage types, and when you actually click on the manage types, it's gonna lead you to the issue types, and I can edit issue types right here. And in order not to make any confusions, I'm just gonna add them this in English. I'm just gonna save it in here. Alright, so let's go back to the board. Alright, so let me create now, and I'm gonna say this is going to be a task 1. As you can see now, when I preview my task, this is how is it going to look like. It's pretty much the same view window that you actually see in your Jira software. You can move it around between the columns. As you can see, it even adds the resolution in here, which is actually done. So you can also add people in here who can actually be on the board, so you can add them in here. You can also do some stuff like customizing the cards. And when it comes to customizing the cards, what you can actually do, you can insert, for example, start date. You can also insert the who is like the reporter. As you can see, the reporter actually shows right in here. So a lot of customizable options that you can actually add. So you can have for the original estimate, all of those good things that you can basically add in here. And you can also expand all columns, or you can actually collapse them so they look like this, but mostly you're going to have your columns expanded. You can also use the filters, and as you can see, the filters are almost, if I can say, well, not that really much, but they're almost like the same when it comes to filtering in the team managed projects. It's almost like that. And you can filter either by the assignee, by the priorities, by who is the reporter, by the status, all of those good things. You can also share the board with the name or the teams as well, so that is another thing that you can do. The thing is that right now what you can actually do is either you can group by the priority, assignee, the category, or something like that. Alright, I'll be back, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Sorry for that. Now, You can group by the statuses by the assignee or the category. So this is the first part that you will actually see. When you go for the summary, you get this interesting graph in here. So that this is why this is like for the towards the business people, because you get these dashboards right away, like how many issues were done, how many of them were updated, how many of them are like due, what is the recent activity, priority breakdown, types of work, team workload, related projects. So this is pretty great because like project managers, this is definitely something that they look forward to have this overview. So this, if you are project manager, you're gonna be spending a lot of time in here, this place especially. All right, so that is for the board. Now you also have the another thingy here, which are the lists. Now as you can see, the lists almost look like a table-like representation of your issues in here. The thing is, what you can actually do in here, you can add like a new column, and within this new column you can actually add, let's say for example, comments. You can add the due dates, and one thing that is interesting, you can add yourself a label. So if I want, I can actually make this and type it in here, YouTube, and it's gonna save it, and it's gonna be the YouTube, and it's gonna automatically create this label. So that is an interesting thing that you can do. Also, the thing is, I can move this assignee here, I can move this reporter here. So this is if I want to have these columns organized in the way I want to see it, in a way that makes my life much easier. So let's say for the category, I don't want to have it, so I'm gonna say hide this field, and I wanna, for this summary, I just wanna, just make it not so wide, so I can have a overview of this, and I can see when this issue was created, when this issue was updated. So that is actually pretty good. So I can see what is actually happening in here. And that question is, can I change the status? And the answer is, of course I do. Even from the list view, you can do this. Now, the really interesting thing, Atlassian has announced that that when it comes to the list views, they're also going to be available for the Jira software. Community leaders, I believe that they already have access to this, so they can see this feature right away, and they can actually test it out and see what is good, what is not, and what kind of suggestions and improvements can be made. Right, so that is for the list view. You can also go here, create it. You can also manage the types from your list view. So that is a interesting thing. So these are the fields, and you can also configure the fields in the fields configuration. So that is another thing that you can do. So if I click on this, it's gonna lead me here. And actually, as you can see, this is going to be your field configuration. And for the field configuration, our project name, so if I go to the project settings, this is my project key. Alright, so when I see it, alright, so these are for these projects right here. I still don't see it because I really don't have the field configuration. I would have to create a new field configuration and assign it to the field configuration scheme, then apply it to this project. But that is something that would take a lot of time. The new thing, if I can say here in the Jira Work Management, is that you have your calendar in here. Let's say you have a big release coming in a week, and you want to see when that release is gonna be. So you just want to have that heads up and to know what is going on and which issues need to be wrapped up with your team, what needs to be communicated, and all of the other things. So that's why you have this calendar view over here. Now the thing is, what you can do, I can select this and I can say MVP, and I can add this. So as you can see, it's been added in here. If I click on this, the due date actually fills automatically, and this is the start date and this is the due date as well. So both start and due date get filled automatically. So that is what you need to know. Now you can select here, you can hide the done items, you can start week on Monday, and unless you're working for a whole week and you want to have 120 working hours, go ahead, start your week on Sunday. No one in this world does it. I'm pretty sure of it. Now, this is a beta feature that says show software release dates, right? So release dates, I can choose this from other projects, right? So it doesn't have to be you're showing software project release dates for API. And you're probably not going to see anything in here, and this is because I don't have any releases stated in that specific project. So you can also see if you have multiple projects in here, so you can see from the multiple projects when some big release is coming. So that is something that is pretty nice. Okay, so you also have your unscheduled working here, where you can actually schedule it and you can drag it to the calendar in here as well. The next thing that I'm not gonna be really showing is the timeline that already exists in the Jira software. It works perfectly the same like in Jira Work Management. Then you have forms, right? Within these forms, so this is like having a bits of portions of the Jira Service Management added to the Jira Work Management. So you can collect the right information from your team and your stakeholders within your organization. So I can create a form here, and I can say, well, this is how it's going to be. Alright, so, and it's going to be like project management task form, right? And I go and preview this. This is how is it going to look like. And I'm gonna say, yeah, sure, why not? And it says in here, anyone with permission to create items in this project, so this is limited, and anyone who can log in to my instance can actually fill out this form. And of course, I don't want anyone to actually fill out this form. So now I have this form actually created, and it says, well, this is going to be your task form, right? Okay, that's pretty interesting. So now what happens if I go back to my board, and right here, as you can see, this is the due date that we already have. Okay, so now what do I want to do here? Let me just take a sec. Let me go back here. So this is the form. This is where you are stored, so project admins can easily come back to manage them. So you can send a form to collect the information and capture the work from other teams. So this means that I have this form right here, right? I can preview it, and I can copy this, and I can send this to others. So this is actually pretty interesting. Of course, you can connect this to the Confluence if you want. There are some attachments, so you will find the attachments that are actually added to your issues. This is actually a pretty interesting feature. Imagine to have this in Jira, to be able to go through all of the possible attachments within the issues, right? Now that would be okay if it's limited and it's not available for all of the users, right? So this actually would be fine if it's used in, if I can say, moral and ethical reasons. Issues. All right, the same thing. It's as you can see, this is from the JQL. You can also use for the basic one. So this is like you have in the Jira software management, Jira software. Sorry. And then you have these reports right here. A lot of them, you can see, a lot of them are from Jira. You also have the shortcuts to add and also have the apps. Alright, when I go to the project settings in here, you will see that there's option to add people to your project. Pretty much the same. Automation, this is also pretty much the same thing. Summary, the same thing. Issue types, totally the same. Issue layout, it's also the same. When I go for the workflows, so for the workflows, if I go here, it's the same. It's like from the company managed workflow, because in the team managed workflow window is totally different, so it's not the same. Let's go for the screens. Yeah, the screens are also the same. So there's like the mixture of the company managed and team managed features mixed up together and put into the work management. Versions as well are actually the same. Components pretty much. Then you have permissions, same thing. Issue security, same thing. Notifications, yeah, same thing. Issue collectors, I didn't use that at all, so I cannot talk about that. So they're like link accounts to this project to track the work on Jira issues that are grouped the category. Interesting. Alright, so can I search for my account in here? No. Interesting. Well, it seems like that this is not really like working properly. No accounts have been linked. You can add your first one by selecting the above, and there are no accounts in here. And all of these things from here, these are the apps. Right, so this is pretty much it when it comes to Jira Work Management. It's much simplified version of the Jira software. It's geared towards the business people, and basically that is everything. Alright guys, that would be it. I will see ya. Bye bye.